they see these women, they're real strong. Real strong. And a lot of people don't even see it. They just see brains and beauty, but they never understand what it truly means to be a mother.
Hey, it's your boy Castanana back here on the Life Couch with my beautiful wife Ancilia, and we're here for the second part of How Pregnant Are You? Hey, I know if you watched the last one, it was getting there, but this one we're going a little deeper. We're talking about miscarriages and preterm birth, and I want you to continue with us, you know. So stay. You could comment, share what your experiences are. Life Couch.
Well, I kind of just talk about so we've had 3 pregnancies, we've had 3 live births, and in all cases, because I have a physical defect, I would never take a pregnancy to term. So I only discovered that with the second pregnancy, when my daughter was also born prematurely. And she had to spend about 3 weeks in NICU, neonatal ICU. And thankfully, the doctor that who was attending to me, he would have prepared me, considering the first experience of having a preterm birth and shortly thereafter passing. So he would have given me shots to develop the lungs in the event that we had a second occurrence of that, which I guess was the wisdom of God, because it happened the second time. But thankfully, because we took precautions and we did the steroids to develop the lungs and so forth, even while she were in NICU, she was just being kept there for management. She had no major issues. Her lungs was developed. She was breathing on her own and so forth. So we had that, and then with our 3rd pregnancy, again, it was a preterm birth. But with that one, we were more prepared, because after having 2 pregnancies of having preterm births, I had to do things like surgical stitch. Sorry, I can't remember the clinical term for it, but we call it a stitch to stabilize the pregnancy, because as the baby grew, I have a short cervix, and the cervix will open and cause preterm births. So we had to stitch that to stabilize the pregnancy to make sure that the baby will go to term. But again, at around 8 months, I started to experience labor pains, and they had to pull out the stitch, and he was ready to come. And thankfully, again, we had a healthy baby, and thankfully he did not have to stay in ICU.
Okay, guys.
Yeah, so we have 2 healthy living children, and the other one is with the Lord.
For me, now hearing that, right, I don't want to, we said stay on the first one, but for people who, or anybody who has never experienced or felt that, the support that you needed then from others then, was it there from others, from family members, from what, did you get that support after this whole thing happened?
So, unfortunately, in our circumstance, we neither of us mothers are alive, or were alive at the time. So, at that time, because for a woman, your first child, going to your mother for her to help you and that kind of thing, we didn't have that. But I had a big sister, and she stepped into that role quickly and gave me that support, because she had 5 children. So she was well versed in it, and she will give me all the support, the advice that I needed, and she will come and, just be there. And sometimes you just need somebody to just be there. You don't need them to say anything. You don't need them to do anything. Just come and be there, because it was a period of just being afraid to be alone. Stephen had to take a month off of work not to take care of a baby or anything, but just to be there because I was just afraid to be in the house alone.
Yeah.
So yeah.
People are really mean, you know. One of the things that actually stuck with me is um, after his name is
His name was Daniel Osei Morris.
Daniel Osei. Um, I took her to a family outing, and the news spread. She just lost a baby, and this person said, "Don't worry, you're young. You're gonna make more."
Yeah.
You just lost a life. I still have a little teddy bear that we picked up in New York that and I'm like, yeah, this is. Yeah. So I'm like, yeah, this is my first child, my first son, and I don't know how people go through a, kind of thing. Yeah. So I wanted to make sure that these things were. My father was never around. I always had other people's father. I call them my daddy. My brother, my sister's husband, deceased, was my father, but he was not my father. And other people, even my brother, my god brother, father, was also considered to be my father because when they get banned, I also get banned, and that was real hard growing up. Other than that, having your own children, it was real difficult. This is my first child, as you said, having your child carry your name as a man, Morris Holder. Yeah, that was my thing, and you know, being supportive to my wife. They always say, friends, work colleagues would go, be careful. You have to watch out very closely. I'm like, how close am I to watch this woman again? She's going to the bathroom. Watch her. What, she gonna drown in the shower? Okay. Make sure she doesn't burn herself while cooking. Make sure she turns off the gas. I'm like, okay, all right, cool. Whew. And then just to go further, the funeral home will call and say, do you all need to speak?
Oh,
They're
yeah.
supposed to call like 2 days after, or they call like weeks,
Yeah, they
almost
were
a
calling
month.
during
Yeah,
intermittent periods, because we didn't accept the council initially.
Yeah, so-
because that's something you need to be ready to do.
It-
And we weren't ready to do it, and they would call, and of course when they call, the wounds will just open back up because you now started to heal, and then they call, and you get in the call from the funeral home too. So it's like, oh
so-
boy. And
Yeah.
the wound will open back up, but yeah.
Yeah, and they weren't even calling her, they were calling me. How is she doing? I'm like, okay, how to stop calls? Put up a sign on the house, do not call, relatives. Hey, what's going on, boy? All you doing this thing again? Like,
Eh, already, if you're doing it
Yeah.
again.
yeah, like, it's just like another,
And that's the thing for this show, is to really start the discussion. Let's be aware of the things that we say to people when they have miscarriages. People need the tools or what not to say and
Yeah.
how to say it, and it's not everything you could say. It's not everything you could just think about. You could tell people that have had miscarriages.
Experience.
It's not. You need to be
This
very,
experience as well.
yes, sensitive. I don't know if we're taking if from Wendy and them, if you guys want to share some tools, or you guys gave a few before, but if you want to tell us some tools to those of us looking on, friends, family, just people in general, or how can we help people in these situations,
I think it's just exercising emotional intelligence. Don't try to make the person feel better, right? By telling them, oh, well, you're young, you'll have a next one. Get back on the ball and have another one. It will help you get over the pain. in reality it does, but at that point in time you don't want to hear that. You are dealing with your grief. You are dealing with a dream that you had that just gets
Yep.
shattered into pieces. And even as a woman, you feel a failure because it's like, okay, your body couldn't do what God created it to do, right? You couldn't carry a baby to term. You couldn't keep this child alive, and you have all of that things going on too.
Yeah.
So it's just, people just exercise emotional intelligence.
So let me ask
You
a
know?
question. You blame yourself for what happened?
Well, initially, because when you're going through grief, you're not thinking rationally, right? So everything the devil throws at you negative. You start to think about, well, what I do wrong, what sins I commit in the past that God repaying me for. You start to think about all those things and why did this happen to me? Because you would, no one goes into pregnancy thinking you're coming out having to hold a funeral for your 2-day-old child, right? You go into pregnancy thinking about walking out of the hospital with your bouncing baby boy or
the
girl,
same thing where audience said,
snuggle
you
up.
know?
Yes,
Dress up, dress up, dress up.
exactly.
Yeah,
So-
and to Swan, you asked her if she thought that about herself, but it actually have people that just ask a mother that just miscarried, maybe what did you do wrong? Maybe you didn't do. I've actually heard that. Maybe you didn't do what the doctor tell you to do. So that's why that happened. So it really, really happens. So that's why I think this conversation is very, very, very important. And it's especially giving people the tools to look, stop with all of that now. Well, they're doing too much.
Exactly.
Be sensitive and, ask the right questions. So don't say anything. I
I have a question to ask, right? I know you was going through that period of grief, right? But we're talking from a husband perspective now. Is there anything a husband could do? Because remember, man is man. We not going to understand full 100 what happening to my wife. So we will be like Steven said, you crying for a month. If AJ cry for a month, everybody know me. Yeah. we still crying for? Everybody know me. Tell us.
But I would think
Something.
it would be the situation as well too. Because that
it would be different
situation-
with him.
that
It would be
situation-
different. It would be.
I get what you're saying, but that situation for in this case is
No, you remember
double
why I said,
grief.
right? You
Yeah.
remember, even though she in grief, I trying my best now to make sure AJ or let's say comfort and
Yeah.
like nothing helping. So you feeling like, what the sense I really doing here then now, right? Steven.
The thing about it is that the good thing about it is that I never walked away, because there are a lot of husbands that would walk away from that situation. You deal with that. I couldn't do it.
You were in
because
it.
I
You were
was
grieving
in it.
too. You were
Exactly.
grieving too.
I was in
yeah.
it as well. And at the same time, we kept together. We would say, "Look, let's go for a drive, let's do this, let's take a vacation." And that is what actually helped, rather than me grabbing a bottle of rum,
Yeah.
just saying, going online, drink it out or lime it out,
Yeah.
find another woman, that was not the thought pattern,
No,
or even
yeah.
on the first that I thought I'm thinking about. So the main thing is that being in church, a lot of people may think that this is a regular thing. It's being in church helped us, or helped me, to be a man. I say today, see these women, they're real strong.
Yeah, true. I can vouch for
Real
that.
strong. And a lot of people that look at them, oh, they're so gorgeous. They're stronger than that. My wife, real strong.
Yeah.
Her back real broad, and I'm bigger than her. And a lot of people don't even see it. They just see brains and beauty, but they never understand the what it truly means to be a mother, losing a child, losing a mother, losing, and being in the whole situation had made me stronger spiritually. And I keep hearing, you need to step up. You need to step up. Like, oh, good, how high, how high, and
Your ladder finished.
yeah,
Your
yeah,
ladder, your ladder
like,
done, the ladder
what am I
done,
doing,
no more rungs.
And then I realized, what, you really had to start bruising knees, because
Yeah.
that man down there is real.
Yep,
And
yep, yep.
without people like these guys around here, you're gone clear. So some of the people who have actually left church, Life Couch, I hope you're listening today. You need to come back in, and not just for Life Couch, for life. And that's what it's all about.
Yep.
Living, being husbands, being wives, being a parent, being mother and father. That's what it's all about.
I like that.
Well
I like
said,
well
well
said.
said.
Well said.
Well
Well
said.
said. Well, we finished. We have this couple. We're gonna talk to them in the business long. So we're gonna hear from Odin Hola.
Well, we had many experiences. I would start it off by saying, nobody can tell me that God is not real, right? And I'll tell you why. So I also had a ghost pregnancy. They called it ghost and phantom, all right? In 2010, Christmas of 2010, Tucson and I decided the other year we would try for a baby, not knowing in 2010 I was pregnant, right? The end of 2010. So 2011, the start in January, I felt sick. I said, Tucson, I think I'm pregnant. We went, and that was the case. Then in February, we went for the first ultrasound, only to realize there was a floating sac with nothing in it but matter. So, of course, that had to, we had to get rid of that. But you see, between December 2010 and February 2011, in me and my mind, the excitement was already there. I was already looking to go and buy crib, playpen, Pampers, everything, right? So, people who know me know I am not an emotional person, right? I don't cry easily. But the tears flowed. I don't think Tucson knows this, but I blame myself. I told myself that I knew I had to wait 6 months to come off birth control, and it wasn't 6 months, and we still went ahead. So that was the reason, and it was my fault, right? But I kept quiet because, please don't do this. It only harms you more. I should have voiced it. It harms you more, right? I kept that to myself probably till this day, right? I don't think I ever told you till this day, right? No.
Nah.
Right?
I'm shocked.
Yeah. So yeah, don't do it. It was traumatic because I had to deal with that. I had to deal with the blame game started. Nobody blamed me. You know what they blame? They blame the job. They blame the gynecologist. They blame what I ate. They blame UE. They blame the studies. So really and truly, all those bubbles pointed back to me, not so? Right. It makes sense out of nonsense, right? So, with that being said, that time passed. People were very supportive. People prayed for me and the whole works. But I am a person, after the pain is gone, I get back into it. So they told me, in our gynecologist said within 6 months you would get pregnant by April the 22nd.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
April the 21st. Yes, the baby was there, right? And then it happened. Amari was born. I never carried a child for 9 months. It was always 8 months, right? I never had a 9-month pregnancy. Amari came in 8 months. Normal birth, no complications. or anything like that. So
Half an hour labor.
half an hour labor, right?
Not 30.
Right.
30 whatever hour.
Right. So now this is the point. Now this is the whole thing with this one, and this is what happens. You have a perfect pregnancy and a perfect birth the first time, right? And then you go into the second one with no fears now and make it. You know, this was real easy. Man, 4 pushes and the baby come out. I ain't get cut, I ain't get stitched. On high ground here, man. I watch the baby.
I could do this
I could
again.
do this again. Watch that, rolling again, man. You know, even well for women, even the weight went down. I say, yeah, man, I could do this again. Yeah. I could roll again. Right? But the second time around now, it was a whole different scenario. It was a whole different scenario. I let my guard down, right? Got pregnant in 2014, right? And this pregnancy was difficult. Not like the first one. The nausea finished after 2.5 months. Every day, Sissy, I want Jira chicken. I want doubles. The cravings, everything. For this one, I threw up for the 8 months again. And only could have stomach dry cricks and all that, right? The thing with this now, because I didn't think anything bad would happen, because it already did, right? What could happen again? You know, it already happened. I move on. We made her marry. Things were perfect. Amari was the perfect pregnancy, perfect delivery at home the next day, not a cut or stitch, and not knowing, well, you talked about the previa. I had preeclampsia. My placenta detached from Chelsea, right? Did not know. She stopped growing. She stopped getting oxygen, food. Essentially, by medical terms, I was basically carrying around a dead baby, right? She was 3 pounds, 9 ounces. 3 pounds, 9 ounces, fits in your hand. And it was emergency section. My blood pressure went up to 189. So these are the things I did not expect after a
And
perfect.
the book ain't get this.
The book never tell me about this, right? Not after my first perfect
Big
pregnancy,
yeah.
right? And yeah, she came out great, and by all medical, standards, either I was not supposed to survive, she was not supposed to survive. If she survived, she was supposed to have brain damage. The works. So, according to Stephen, thank God, we had people who at the moment dropped on their knees and started to pray. People trivialize the power of prayer, and I don't mean to make it holy, but the only reason Chelsea is alive and well today is because I remember, I will never forget Sissy when I was going to make Chelsea. And I came back home. My mother-in-law, call her Grandma Hermine, right? Big up to Grandma Hermine, right? Told me, hey, Sissy's still crying in the back, I said, for what? I'm not going to get to see my niece. I'm not going to see my niece. Because she read everything about
Yeah, I had just read about preeclampsia,
and
not
Sissy
knowing
was
that all.
crying because she didn't think
That's
I would
dead
bring
people, that
home
is dead.
Chelsea.
Yeah.
So Sissy, she turned tears into happy tears and she cried, but I said all that to say this. Everybody is different. Your situation is different, right? In all that, at the end of it, when I brought Chelsea home and I sat down to internalize everything, I still blame myself. I was enrolled in UE and I was doing a final thesis with a big belly. This is me. But what it is I was really trying to do, boy, is my fault. I stressed out the child, this and that. And I said, you know what? What is what is done is done. So at the end of the day, everybody's situation is different, you know, and you have to be sensitive to what you tell people.
Correct.
You have to be sensitive to what you tell people, right? Everybody, after 2 or 3 years, would say, "Oh gosh, it's so cute." Or you have to go back again. No, I laugh it off. I laugh it off. But in my mind, that third one couldn't happen because of the seriousness of it. But yeah, so they don't know that, right? So you know, why you stop there and why you try for the boy? And in my mind, I'm thinking I almost didn't get my next girl, right? But you laugh it off because you know they don't know. They don't know. But before we do these things, you have to say, you know, you're ready. What went on, right? But everybody's situation is different, and we thank God that everything worked out.
I think now, in the light of what we're doing here, once people really take a look at it and get involved, they would now hopefully change the discussion on how you go about telling people,
Yeah, approach,
go for
yeah.
the next one, or we're waiting on, you know, and that's what we want all to do. Hey, don't forget, as much as we're doing this and it's serious, share this with somebody because somebody needs to hear this. So we want all to share, get somebody involved, send it to somebody one time, let them hear this discussion. I know you have an outer time in friends, send it to them one time. You understand?
True.
Let me give my take on it now, right? When we found out about Chelsea, we spent a week in St. Augustine. I never told AJ this, right? When
This story is coming out now.
A lot of
no.
Okay.
When
Thank God for life.
when they
Thank God for life.
remember who you read? Where you was reading about preeclampsia. They told us in the hospital. So we already know Chelsea not breathing, not growing, not doing nothing. Chelsea just floating. She just dead. Right? So they gave the injections and everything now. When they cut AJ, because I was trying to get her out, I still ain't saying she died. I trying to get her out on Holder birthday, which is the 10th. But he said her pressure was too high. They can't take her out on the 10th. I said that's a small thing. Because I'm the 6th. My father is the 10th. So I'm trying to get Chelsea on the 10th. They said no, it can't happen. So the 11 in the morning they came and they said they have to do it. So when they cut AJ, now we went private. So I write, doctor, I'm the assistant. I right here. When he cut on there and I take out that baby, I watched that, dead boy. But I didn't tell AJ anything. Yeah, like her pants.
Yeah.
So I do also. I know the baby dead. Because she done. So me want to add none to it now, boy. So I just give she thumbs up. Come out here. I watching this thing, now. I think dead, boy. See the doctor. Well, they couldn't hold her. I couldn't say her. They couldn't hold it. So they put it in a towel. And they roll the towel up and hold it. Just like this. And they walk with it. Now she cut open. So they waiting to find out if we was going to tie tubes.
No, they burned.
Yeah,
we
was going to do the operation one time. But the doctor say, wait until the pediatrician come back. Because the pediatrician and all doing so. She out. So the pediatrician, and I do a thumbs up, but I know that baby dead. From the color that baby born. That baby just gone inside. I just watching it dead inside the room. Put it in the incubator. It started coming down from dark gray to light gray. So I asked him, I say, what will happen? He said, well, we go wait and see. So we sit down in there and we wait. And then he says he started to move. Just the little, can't remember, she was about that, you know. She wasn't small about that. She was like a bottle. So you just see the little thing rolling. So here now. Yeah, she alright, man. Come back inside, you do put sad so. Thumbs up. In the room, I'm Friday with it. So I'm like, yeah, because I know that baby dead. But I never tell AJ the baby dead, you know.
No, he didn't. He really didn't.
I see the baby dead. I see a dead baby.
I
When
was,
he take
I
it
was
out.
quarreling. Why are you taking so long?
Yeah, because
I
they couldn't
want to
stitch
throw
up.
up. I want to sleep. I want to do everything. Hustle up, get me out of here, right? Remember, I could not feel anything, right?
Yeah.
Why are you taking so long? And he's there talking. I'm like, but we're waiting to hear if she's okay and this and that. I'm like, she's fine. You get her out already. Stitch me up.
No, but the
And-
pediatrician had done tell him she dead now. Right? So it's, we already, I basically prepared for a dead baby. Right? I done, my mind done say, right? Because it's a week we in the hospital, you know.
Yep.
So, a week a baby in doing nothing.
But you're prepared to say what? No more, or well, don't burn the tubes.
No, that was it. Well,
It wasn't really up to me.
it wasn't up to us.
If the baby had died,
If the
if Chelsea
baby,
had died, they would not have.
he would have just stitched her back up.
He
He
would
wasn't going to cut.
Yeah.
But so he waited for the pediatrician
To
to come
see
and
what's
say,
going on.
because he would say, oh, they will try again to see what could happen.
Yeah.
But for about 3 or 4 days, it wasn't for the whole week. It was about 3 days.
4 nights.
She
4
was
nights.
just-
Yeah, she didn't.
She was just there just dying.
So within that time, or then were you feeling movement or anything, or
No, nothing.
nothing.
Nothing. It's just
But
a big belly with
But well, this is a whole next topic altogether, right? I would have never accepted it. I would have never accepted a death, maybe, until, I don't know. In my mind, they could have said what? They could have said the baby died, and I would not, knowing me, I may not have accepted that until a funeral.
yes, you see.
Until a funeral.
No, you see, like sometimes,
Not even, yeah.
sometimes like because we went private,
Yeah,
I was privy to everything. But sometimes when you're in public, you don't see what's going on.
yeah,
Remember, I ride there, so I see the dead baby.
yeah.
So as the mother who giving birth, she don't know what's happening.
No.
Them could say anything.
And this is why I understand, right? Not accepting it. You can't. You can't. There's nothing they could have told me that would make me say, my child is dead. Right? There's nothing they would have said.
So you see the opposite?
Yeah, there's
I
nothing.
seen a dead baby.
Yeah.
And
I
she
could have,
believing.
even if I had seen that, I would not have accepted.
That's why you can hold the baby.
Yeah.
So for your cases, I actually,
you.
she called and said, look, don't forget to pass in the hospital and check on him. And I'm like, yeah, okay, cool, look at the time. I just finished training a client, rushed up to the hospital, saw him, yeah, everything was good, yeah, okay, all right. And then I saw this little speck of blood in the tube in his nose, and I'm like, nurse. And she said, no, that's fine, that's okay. And an hour later or so after we got home, we got a call.
I mean, I don't know how, because for a lot of people, I mean, they hearing it and I mean living it is one totally different aspect. I mean, we could hear it so much, but living it and being, I mean, because, well, if you don't know, there's my brother, there's my sister, you know, there's my cousin here, there's my family on that side, right? They're the same way. So it's living the experience, right? And it's a totally different thing than just being outside of the conversation, right? We're going to share, and I will let my wife start off with sharing her, because ours would be far from different from everybody, great pregnancy, and we had birth already. So we done had a great pregnancy. Whole 9 months, 2 extra weeks. The boy good to go. He ain't coming out.
Yeah, both of them didn't want to come out.
Right?
Both of them was 9 months and 2 weeks. 2
9
weeks
months,
overdue.
2 weeks overdue.
Yeah. That's exactly what the doctor
Comfortable.
said. They were very comfortable. Yep.
Right?
Yep.
You talking or I talking?
Well, I mean, I could talk. I mean, ours is nowhere close to any miscarriage, right? Because we have our children, right? Like Keston said, pregnancy was a breeze, more so with King than Asia. Asia had a slight little, I had acid reflux, but that's still not considered to be anything too bad, right? You just can't eat all the greasy food, but that's a small thing. So, labor and delivery, we went to, well, with King, when we, well, I went in the Wednesday, well, both of them, Sherelle, girl, you're 36 hours, mine was like 2 days. And for both of them, I got induced. All right, so you know that pain is not a normal pain, it's a different pain. And you're going through that pain from Wednesday till Friday. So that was the first thing. With King, I thought I was going crazy. I didn't know you could bear that pain. That pain was so unbearable. That's the best way I could put it. It was unbearable. And I mean, having it for 2 days, I went in to deliver, and then I'm there for 2 days. And by Friday, I was like, Keston, I am going to call for a C-section. I cannot bear this anymore. And at that time, well, we were good with Pastor Lane. Of course, everybody here was good with Pastor Lane. And Pastor Lane called, and he said, whatever you do, don't take a C-section. I started to cry. Don't take a C-section. I am over it already now. And more pain because he said, don't do it. And I didn't do it. And well, to make a long story short, went into delivery. And because I was in so much pain and just crying, I mean, not crying, I think at this point I was bawling, right? I stressed out King. And you know, when you stress out your baby, we call it poop, but I think the correct name is the meconium, right? And that happened. And of course, as we say, the gynecologist is going to explain all of these things, but meconium, while you haven't even delivered us yet, is a terrible thing, right? Because had King swallowed just a little of that, it would have been death. And I remember telling Keston, and well, he will share what happened with him, because it was I didn't know what he was thinking about at that time, right? And I think we had to tell home, and I remember everybody going. I know we coming back to the prayer, but
it was
that really helped us because Jaron, I remember Pastor Lane and everybody started to pray, because as I said, when you read about meconium, is not something to play with, right? And he did that, and they actually had to put me to sleep because I was getting labor pains, but my cervix was not opening for nothing. King was lodged up here, and he refused to come down, right? So they put me to sleep, and this was from probably about 7 in the morning, and when it was about 12 o'clock, I woke up, and what it is give you that way out and the drips, and it was time to push. And even that was a whole scenario, because King, not to be too graphic, but King was just coming out and going back. Coming out and going. He just was not coming out. And yeah. And then he eventually came out. And because of the meconium, they had to take him away and make sure they get, if any, get in his mouth and pump it out and all of that. So I didn't really see him immediately.
I saw it.
But yeah, Keston was right there. So that was it with King. With Asia, however, same thing. Pregnancy was good. when it was time to deliver Asia, the comparison between the labor pain with Asia and King, it blew my mind. King was terrible, and Asia was, don't get me wrong, the pain was bad. It's not that it was real nice, the pain was bad, but compared to King, I was like, okay, God, all right. I feeling it, but this not so bad. All right, thank you, Lord. I was literally thanking God that this labor pain was like, not sockeye, but it was real good. I actually walked out and was telling the nurses, I'm 5 minutes apart, I'm a minute apart, that kind of thing. Right? Call Keston, tell him it's time to come down and all of that. Reach down. When they put me on the wheelchair now, and they started to push me down, we went to public,
No.
right?
Well, and she leaving it out. We had to go public as well too, because when we went to the gynecologist, her gynecologist, and he tested her, he didn't make it a big deal, but he was like, here what? Go Mount up and thing, let them do
Just
this.
like you already, he wasn't seeing any movement.
No movement.
Or anything, so straight
No
mount.
movement. So yeah, go Mount up. Let them do what you call a stress. That's they say. So we go. She go inside. They do the stress test. She came out. Thing. Let them now sit and wait there. Come back and let's do it again. There's no heartbeat. There's no movement. Right? But they just want to make sure. So it's twice they do it now. When they do the second time, the nurse came and say, Mr. Hula, say yes. Yeah, let me speak to all you. Said, we can't find a heartbeat. And we're not seeing any movement. You can't leave. This is Asia. You can't leave. If you leave, it is at your own risk. We can't take no issue, but we're not allowing her to leave. So better, because we have no bag, we have nothing, we didn't go for this. Go home.
Yeah, we went to a regular
get her stuff and come back. Well, it's snotty nose in the people hospital. I don't want to stay here. I want to go from here.
You didn't have to say all that, man. Oh, God. If I was telling it, I was leaving out that.
Nah, I leave it out because but the reality was we couldn't even go private. Yeah. Because they're not going to take it. They're not going to take it. Right? And it was the same thing with King as well, because even with King on, it was a routine. Go get checked. And they said, nah. It's not that they were seeing everything, but the timing was too long. He was overdue. I mean, and we just say it like that, but he was overdue till he came out, and his skin was actually ashy, peeling off, overdue kind of. He done getting old inside. You understand?
No,
he looked old. He looked old. His skin, everything was peeling off and everything. And the two experiences, as much as we say they were different, they ended up in it. And everybody experiences different, and she would have a bad part to say being with the last birth, but the favor of God being in the public was different for us because it was easy.
Oh, just to finish before you go to tell your side of it with King, I didn't finish with Asia. When they wheeled me downstairs and to get off the wheelchair to go on the bed, I couldn't raise up because Asia, unlike King was here and Asia was just ready to be out, right? And I think I took probably about 45 minutes just to get up on the bed, because at that time in Mount Hope, they had a lot of students, trainees, and everybody was there with their paper and they're watching and then I by myself got up on the bed. And by the time I lie down on the bed, as I said, Asia was ready to come. But I don't know what made the midwife say, I guess she find probably I wasn't in a lot of pain or enough pain, and she told me she felt my belly and she was like, "You're not ready to push us yet. You're not ready for this child to come out." And of course, I had a child before, so I know what to expect, and that's the exact feeling I was getting, right? So I am thinking, I am not ready to push. Okay, the midwife just tell me that, so don't push, right? Don't push. And I literally squeezed Asia. I mean, because I just hear don't push, right? So I am now ignoring my body and telling me it's not time to push. And I squeezed Asia with all of my might because she said don't push. The long and short of that is that when Asia came out, because she came out with I couldn't hold her in, right? And I say that's good. Because had I held her in, only to read after or to go by the doctor to find out that Asia could have been brain dead or brain damage, right? Brain damage, right? And all the complications with that. And for the first year of her life, I actually thought she was brain damaged. I don't know if, Odin, if you know this, but one of the things that a baby don't do is dribble. They do not dribble. And Asia was dribbling. And I read profusely. I did not purchase any bibs for Asia because babies don't dribble. It's only when they're teeth and they will dribble. But Asia was dribbling. And of course I read, and that's a part of brain damage, and bought all the bibs, and I was out of it because I thinking my child is brain damaged because nobody could tell me no because she dribbling, right? And babies don't dribble, so she is brain damaged. And for the first year, I mean, everybody was saying nothing wrong with her, nothing wrong with her, but you're seeing the signs of a child that have brain damage. And I think I said it so much, or was in this space of being depressed about it, that Keston started to see signs that he wasn't seeing before when it come to Asia, you know. But the end result is that we have two healthy children, and we certainly thank God for that.
Yeah.
And she's not yet.
And Chelsea's supposed to be dead of brain damage, and she's none of the two.
Certainly.
Right.
None of them brain damage.
And that's the point of this conversation, guys, is to shed light on all of this and to talk about all of this. You know, Keston, I don't know if you want to share about.
Yeah, as I was saying, for King, when I got the phone call, did Lama, so I know I was gonna go in the room and everything, but when I got the phone call that this happened and he pooped, boy, you know, you say you don't know what you're going to do at that moment. I pray there, I say, Father, oh boy, no more boy, no more boy. But right at that moment, you know how Odin and they would say they blame themselves? I start to say, see, this woman, is she killed my child?
Hey, you said that?
Yeah. That went through my mind.
How much things coming out?
No, that went through my mind. That went through my mind because but the excitement, because the thing with us was she didn't know the sex at all. She didn't want to know. And so Heshina, at first she was like, I want to know what it is. No, don't tell me. So we go, here, the doctor, you want to know what it is? Heshina, I don't want to know. He want to know, but I don't want to know, so don't tell me. So he go, he do the thing, and then he come back here, and now, okay, well, if you don't want to know thing, why she was in the room changing anything, and so, boy, I say, right. Mine make no thing, because I didn't want her to know. So the whole of the 9 months, I don't want to know, you know. But what it is? I say, you want to know? Heshina, you ain't go tell me. I say, if you want to know, I'll tell you. Heshina, what it is? I say, it's a boy. You're lying. You're going to never tell me it's a boy. So that's how we go in now, boy. And then when she asks me again, I say, it's a girl. You so stupid, ever? You know. So she never knew. I picked name. I had everything lined up from my son.
Yeah, I didn't even buy her outfit because I didn't know.
She didn't know, so it had nothing planned. Neutral colors really
Neutral
placed with.
colors.
So when I go in there and it happened, you would say, you know, but I hope everything, and you're praying that it works out. But the devil placed it in my mind one time, if this girl kill my child, right? And then right there and then, I caught myself and I say, hey, what you saying? Because it never was a topic. It never, and that's why I would say I never said it. I never did anything because it was like a spur of the moment. And then I was like, hey, nah. But it came because it's something that people, I don't know if other people, but it's something it face. And it has some men wouldn't say it, but you know, it is there to say, God, boy, what she really do it? Because in all the time, knowing that she there, I would be on the phone and I'd be, girl, cool yourself, calm yourself down, hey, just now it go happen. So, you know, you trying, just as you're trying to be there to calm the whole thing down. And then this happened and so it was like, what's really going on here, boy? That past child was good, and then, as I say, I knew what was going on. So I was really close with my son at the beginning, and I mean, still real close, but then Asia, the whole staying there and coming out. And when she said it, boy, that dribbling thing, because that child was normal to me, eh? And then this girl, and that was say, Google, you see this Google? Yeah, hey, that Dr. Google and this reading and thing. And then when she put it in my mind now, all I could see is dribbling, boy. And I'm like, what really going on here, boy? That's all I see. And yeah, the fear came, boy, and at that time our pastor was Pastor Lane, and he said, don't speak it to me. So no matter what you see, he said, hey, don't speak it. Don't give it life. Stop talking about it. Right? And after that, it just died. I stopped saying it, and because we have that experience with King. Boy, they tell us King had asthma. She went to that pediatrician, think he was wheezing, right? He was small and he was wheezing, and they tell her, you know, he have the signs of asthma, and gave her the prescription to buy the Ventolin pump and everything. And she called me, she said, Keston, they say, thing. I said, don't buy that. I said, show it that. Don't buy no pump, because I'm not giving it to him. Right? Yeah, she know, yeah, but I said, don't buy that. He have nothing. To this day, he never wheezes. You understand? And that's why we here. We telling you all, yes, it's not gonna be easy.
Never is.
And everybody's situation is very different.
You understand?
Yeah.
But hey, and not bringing it. I mean, everybody here is believers, and we're not bringing it too churchy. But the reality is, that is who the God, that is the God we serve. You understand? And hey, we will keep it there, because hey, where you can see it happening, and for plenty of us, we just cannot see it and we don't understand, because I'm sure this is not the only experiences that people have faced. You understand?
Or even when people write in our midst.
Right in our midst, because I mean, as I say, for me, I've heard it before, but this is the first time actually Marlon and Cheryl have actually shared it like this, and me being there to it, but I knew of like it happening once. You understand?
Yeah.
So it's a whole new line that we really want to talk to people about, because hey, this is the beginning of parenting. You understand? This is it. This is what parenting is about. And we don't talk about it. And it's not the main topic for anybody. You understand? It's not a main topic that people will want just come and sit down and start a conversation with. But this is where we want to do it, right here on the life couch. You understand? Start the conversation. I mean, if you're here and you're on and you see it, you don't have to share your experience, but we want your comment. If you know about it, if you understand what we're talking about, share a comment. You understand? Hit it up to that friend who might have had a miscarriage, or who might have had one of these boots and let them see, hey, after all of this, we could post some pictures for you to see, real nice children, everybody have it. So that all you could see that, hey, in the midst of all that happened and could happen, that hey, you could still get that miracle, you could still get them, these beautiful children could come out of the experience.
Yeah.
Beauty
Right?
from ashes.
Eh?
Beauty from ashes.
Beauty from ashes, you understand? So, we want to thank everybody for being on the set. I know the time, I find it was well spent, even if all you find it long out there.
No,
I find it was well spent,
it was.
getting to know, getting to experience, getting to talk. New host. All you see her.
Jerome, I hope I do you justice.
Yeah.
Boy, I hope I do you justice.
Yeah,
Get back
yeah.
your seat next show, right?
Right? We are on the live couch here, everybody. And we want you to continue, like, share, subscribe, comment, be a part of it.
Yeah.
We loving it. I hope all you enjoyed this session. I want to thank everybody once again for being a part and for sharing their experiences. Life Coach.
And I found out that I was a carrier for sickle cell trait, right? That's how I found out. So somebody like me, I need to know what is my partner's carrier state, because then we need to make a decision. Are we so in love that we are going to stay together? And if we are staying together and so in love, are we going to have kids? Because there's a 1 in 4 chance of our kids getting sickle cell disease. And this disease is so terrible. You are then making a decision to have a child that could have a terrible life course.
These are some of the difficult discussions that we want to have. It's Life Coach, and we all about keeping it real, right? So I am so happy to be a part of this evening's session.
Oh gosh,
this is very close to my heart.
You know I happy that you're here, love.
You are, alright.
of
Alright,
course.
I'm taking that.
I take
Jerome boy, a higher spot.
Of course, meaning high spot.
You putting him out?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, don't do him that.
All right,
Don't do him that. Don't do him that.
It couldn't happen without some people, obviously,
sure.
right? So we
All
want to
our
thank all them
sponsors.
people, and then all
Yeah.
the sponsors, Jesus Life Center, the biggest sponsor that we have,
Yeah.
right? We want to thank them for allowing us, the use of the place, obviously, right? And then we want to thank Pt2 for you see these chairs that you're seeing on the set? We want to thank them for it. A nice, a nice new look now, boy, right? Crossroads Production and Selena Films for the audio gear, and we want to thank Love Moments Events. Everybody went home full. They like what they get for the set design and making it look how it looked as well. And we want to thank Ring Films. Ring Films. We can't leave him out, and we can't make no mistake with the name at all, right? Ring Films. Because if we don't have Ring Films, you can't see us. So we want to big him up one time. Ring Films for all that they supply and all that they give us here all the time for Life Coach.
Yeah.
Right? Hey, but saying that, we just can't bypass Jesus Life Center like what we did at the beginning. Hey, Jesus Life Center celebrating 75 years this year. And if you want to find out anymore, there are real things coming up. You know what you can do?
Yeah.
Check them on the Facebook page for all the events. Yo, it's a real thing happening. Art and this. Hey, watch now, you
Art
can't done.
exhibition, reunion, we have a gala coming up. Check out the page.
Hey, and if you want to be a sponsor, just hit us up now, man. And hey, you can make it happen. Want to be a part of this? Life Coach.